seeing all these pastries go through on the table, I regularly reflect on just how much detail goes into this from a labor perspective. If you produce pastries that are kind of akin to the industrial ones, kind of done within, in the time that we've been here. I mean, we've been here all day. We're pushing 10, I'm pushing 10 hours since I started. And the whole time it's just been going from thing to thing to thing and using my hands to sort of strengthen dough slowly and then get to more and more nuance and detail. And then when you get to the pastries, the variance between this base product, which is, I mean, the ingredient list in this is so simple. It's flour, water, salt, our sourdough starter, which is really just flour and water. So it's going to go flour, water, salt, sugar, and butter. That's it. Now there's a touch of egg on these because we egg wash them. But the ingredient list is far simpler than all the supermarket bread that has 15 ingredients. And yet the amount of actual human labor that goes into supermarket bread is almost negligible because of all the machinery that sort of automates those processes. In this case, there's a ton of nuance and a ton of like different amount of care going into this. This pastry dough was mixed 2 days ago and was worked on some more. This pastry dough was mixed yesterday in the morning. It was laminated today, chilled very precisely. I mean, you're not even seeing a quarter of the process for these pastries. You're just literally seeing one of the easiest and most fun parts where we get to assemble them on the table. But the lamination is extremely precise. The temperature requirements for the butter and the dough through lamination are within a 10-degree window. If you are off by more than 10 degrees in temperature, you don't get to this stage, and you certainly don't have this kind of a smooth experience on the table. Of course, it doesn't stop there. The original mix and bulk fermentation, stretching of dough, preparation of butter is all extremely detailed work, and any little variance in that work results in something that's more nightmarish by the time you get to this state. Consider that the butter that is sandwiched between 81 layers of this pastry dough has not melted at all. It's actually sustained between 60 and 70 degrees the entire time. And that's based on just how we manage the dough throughout the process. So the pastries are very technical in that regard. And we are extremely proud of them for that reason, because getting to the point that you regularly, with consistency, overcome all of the various variables to produce consistent results at this scale is nothing short of a lot of work and a lot of effort, a lot of intention. So these pastries, that's the thing, that each one of these pastries has a lot of intention behind them and has a purpose. And that's why I think that it's also completely okay for our customers to loosen up a little bit as far as perception of pastry, because it's not just garbage in, garbage out in this case. We don't just use the worst ingredients we can get our hands on. I suppose, on the contrary, we use the best ingredients. Even though you only saw the squares for the lemon marmalade, you didn't actually see the marmalade yet. That's a house-made thing. I mean, on Sunday, I was chopping lemons, and I was cooking them down and making a house-made marmalade, because that's just how we do things around here. There's no store-bought fillings. There's no prepared ingredients. This is completely scratch-made from just dust, from just a simple grass growing in a field. And I think that that's what's kind of miraculous about bread is how versatile it is, yet it's such a humble base crop. so much creative expression behind different types of breads. Yeah, Proof makes quite a few different types of breads, and it's definitely a showcase of what you can do for sourdough, but we're not even scratching the surface of all the different types of breads we could make. And as we continue into our future, I'm sure we're going to have more and more opportunity to explore those. Sourdough rye is something that I'm very interested in, which starts to deviate a little bit from wheat. But you can make beautiful rye pastries too. One of the most delicious things I had in the last few years was a personal size rye hazelnut cake that I got to make with one of the master bakers in the world, Jeffrey Hamelman, again at Grain Gathering. I've mentioned this before, but if you're into bread, you should definitely look and see if the region of the world that you live in has some sort of a grain gathering. And most of them do. There's some great ones in Europe. There's some great ones down under. Certainly some great ones in the Americas. I don't know of the other continents, but I wouldn't be surprised if you find some gatherings of bakers, grain growers, millers in all parts of the world. And when you go to those things, you can see how people come together with various traditions. Our whole pastry menu is really, it's come together slowly over time and with intention. I'm pretty proud of what we've done with the croissant program. And it's something that we want to continue to evolve. We never really want to stay still on that. We found a bunch of form factors that we really like, and now we're starting to play with, continue to vary them. So those morning buns are soon going to become ocean rolls, and then there'll be morning buns again in the future. But we have, when you do pastry with this much intention, at this particular scale, the level of creative license is really unlimited. It's one of the things I'm most excited about moving into our new space, is having people watch this particular process up close. You guys are really the only ones that get to see this on a regular basis, and still there's only so many videos that we've posted on pastry production. I can't wait till that day where you can walk into our shop, grab yourself a drink and a pastry, or a drink and a piece of toast, sit at our bar, and literally right across will be our baker's bench, and you can watch us do this for as long as you like, and sort of be immersed in this process. Unfortunately, this is just not how most food is made anymore, especially sweets.